Hey there, Julia here. Today I wanted to share a closer look at the new Magna Carta fountain pen model called the MST. This model is exclusive to Endless Pens, and I shared my first impressions on a short here on YouTube, but just wanted to talk a little bit more about it since there has been some developments since that short. There's been some time that has passed, and I just have a little bit more to say. I've had a little more time with it. So first off, it is a gorgeous, beautiful pen. We can look at the body here. This colorway is called Black Opal, and right now it's only one of several colorways, including that really cool Cheshire Cat colorway. I thought that one was so cute, such a cool theme. I'll probably stick a photo of it up here somewhere so you can take a look at that one. But let's look at some features, just like an overview of this pen. So we have a pretty sizable clip here, lots of space in between the clip and the cap. It isn't really springy, but you have a lot of give with the clip. So if you do clip your pens to thicker notebooks or thicker clothing, then I think this is a nice sturdy clip. We also have the Magna Carta logo mark on the finial there and gold hardware. And I've heard from a few people that they didn't really love the gold hardware and thought that this was better suited for silver. And I'm typically a little more sensitive to what hardware goes with what color. And even though this is like a cooler toned pen that you would think a silver, like you would think silver hardware would go with a little bit better, this one, like the gold, doesn't really bother me. I just think that it actually elevates it a little bit. It's a little unexpected, and I quite like the gold hardware on this one. So let's look at the grip section here. This is the grip section of the MST. I feel like it is, a nice size. It fits really well in the hand, and it has this little flare at the top, which I think is really nice, especially for folks that tend to eat the nib with their fingers. And yeah, it's just a nice, comfortable flare. And flipping it over, it seems, it didn't say in any descriptions or anything, or maybe I just missed it, but this does have an ebonite feed. I think it seems like it's ebonite to me, and it's one of those really slim feeds. And I don't know, there's something really sleek and nice about those really close to the nib feeds. As far as filling mechanism, it is a cartridge or converter fill, standard international. This one has a Schmidt converter in there. And for the cap, it is a screw cap, and it takes about 2.5 turns to uncap or cap. I personally don't really pay attention to how many turns it takes or how long it takes to uncap something. I just think, like, if it took a super long time, then, that would be something to note, but this seems pretty normal to me. But speaking of capping and uncapping this pen, I mentioned in that short that I previously had a problem with the clearance between the section here, maybe where it flares, I'm pretty sure, like where it flares and the clearance in the cap. And so it was a little hard. You got like a little interference trying to cap and uncap. It was a little wonky, a little uncomfortable. But I learned after I posted that was a defect with that pen. It was fixed, like right on the spot. I saw it getting fixed. But I was also offered to be able to pick a new color distribution of the pen, because when they're made from resins like this like swirly resin, each pen looks a little bit different. And though I really loved that pen, I really enjoyed the color distribution of this one a little bit better, so I swapped out the entire pen for this one. I also tried several, like capping and uncapping several of these pens at the San Francisco Pen Show, and no other pen had that same capping issue. So it was just my luck there, I guess. So this pen has a 14 karat fine flex nib. We'll get into that in a bit and do a fun little writing sample, but we see the Magna Carta engraving, their logo mark there, and the breather holes like a cute little heart. Love that. It is a number 6 size nib. And one of the things that sets this model apart from, you know, other Magna Carta models is the shape of this pen. It feels more modern. It looks similar to other modern pens, especially when compared to the Magna Carta 600, Mag 600, but we'll look at these a little closely, like side by side in just a bit. But what also makes this a little bit different is that it posts. The Mag 600 here does not post. This one posts, and it posts deep, which I really like, and you're left with a really nice shape, and it's not going anywhere. All right, let's do a size comparison. So I have this 5 pen rest from Fountain Pendulum, and it's gorgeous, but let's take a look here. So capped, it is about the same size as a TWSBI Eco. And then of course posted, you wouldn't really post a TWSBI Eco, so we won't do that comparison. I also thought that maybe the Leonardo Momento Zero, let's get a nib in here, what am I doing? But yeah, I thought that the Leonardo Momento Zero would be a comparable pen as well. As far as size, the MST is just a little bit taller while it's capped, and let's see posted. And quite a bit shorter posted. That's because this one posts so deep. And then of course with the Mag 600, it's quite a bit shorter. So you would not post this one, it does not post. As expected, quite a bit taller posted here. But seriously, you cannot, like if you tried to post this, 1, it barely stays on, and 2, it's like so long. Crazy. Okay, so I have these two, the Mag 600 and the MST, both inked up for writing samples. And I will say with this black opal one in particular, I had a fun time looking at all of the ink matches here, but I decided to ink it up with Birmingham Pen Company Salamander, which is more, let's see, like along the lines of this greenish teal almost color there. So I'm gonna write with both. Let's go with the Mag 600 first, and we are working with the same 14 karat fine flex nib with that same sleek ebonite feed. So this is without any flex. And barely any pressure. And here we are with the pressure. And then with the reverse writing. So quite smooth. You do have to take the writing here quite slow, and I didn't get any railroading, which was nice. This paper is a little more toothy, but as you can see, fountain pen friendly. This is from Wearing Gold. This is their reservoir paper. Okay, let's hit it with the MST. Okay, with pressure. And reverse. So there we go. I would say similar writing experience. This ink is drier than this ink, so there was a difference there with ink flow, but other than that, I would say it is the same nib. It has the same writing experience. It's just in a different body. So something else that I really like about the Magna Carta pens as well, me and loving to swap nibs around, is with this being a number 6 nib, it's JoWo compatible. So if the flex is not something that you want to do every day and you still love the look of this, you can swap this out. I'm actually going to grab this Leonardo nib that I had installed earlier. So now if I want just a regular, this is a medium nib. If I just want that round, regular old medium nib writing experience, I can have that as well. I do love that about this pen and, you know, my JoWo compatible or just swappable nibs in general. So let's talk about some of the other just quick differences between the MST and the Mag600. And so these are just quick details. So you can see the difference in the cap design here. We have a cap ring that goes all the way around this one. This cap is attached without one for the finials. And this one I forgot to mention is, I think, a prototype resin. Same shape and design as all the other Magna Carta Mag600s. It's just with the prototype resin. So yeah, no finial design on this Mag600, and we get the logo mark here on the MST. And then very bare bones as far as hardware embellishments on the Mag600. We have the 2 rings here and this bottom ring as well. And then also where the branding is along the cap band on the Mag600, it is wider than on the MST. And we have different engravings here. So on the back side, we do get the logo mark on the Mag600. And on the MST, we have established 2014 with a little hairline that goes around to the full word mark here. So yeah, those are just some little differences between these two models as well, even though they have the same nib. So let's talk pain points really quick. You know, I've had this pen for a little bit now and I've been able to use it and travel with it. So what are the pain points? So I think for me, like sometimes when I'm writing with Flex, with this nib and with the Mag600 as well, you have to take it slow because you will get railroading. You can't be doing like crazy figure eights really fast. You can't be doing really fast writing with Flex in the setup that it comes with. You will get railroading. So I think that's pretty typical with modern Flex pens. Like you have to take it slow and give the ink time to travel to the page from the feed. Like I know that there are some feeds that you can get, some kind of like third-party aftermarket feeds that have an additional slit, so it allows more ink to travel down to the page, but as is, you will get some railroading if you go too fast. This pen, along with the Mag600, they don't travel very well, and that really is indicative of modern Flex pens in general. Even with the tip of leaving your nibs upright and doing all the things you're supposed to be doing when traveling with inked fountain pens, it does not really apply here. I've traveled with the Mag600 several times. I've traveled with this one once, and both times I ended up with ink on the nib, on the section, sometimes in the cap, and it does make it more prone to burping. So just something to keep in mind. It's probably better that if you travel with Flex nibs, or this pen in particular, that you want to travel with it uninked and then ink it or add in a cartridge at your destination. But yeah, overall thoughts. It is beautiful. It is a beautiful pen. I definitely prefer the MST visually and functionally because I do love a good poster. Compared to the Mag600, I think I prefer this one. Neil from Wasted Paper designed this new model alongside Endless Pens and Magna Carta, and I just think his level of thoughtfulness is just like next level, so cool. There's actually a blog post about the inspiration for this model, prototype sketches, all of like the behind the scenes stuff, the story of the pen is just really interesting. So I'll leave that link below if you're curious and interested about, you know, how pens come to be. I do know that this one is also a part of the Endless Hatch program, and the Hatch program I think is super unique and unique to Endless, but they have creatives within the community come up with ideas for pens and inks and stationery, and you pitch your idea, and then if it gets accepted, then you work with them to make that pen a reality. So that's super cool. This MST model is available for the Hatch program now, so a bunch of different designs and ideas can be applied to this. But who do I think this pen is for? I love to answer that question, like, who is this pen for? I think if you are familiar already with fountain pens, this is a great model. If you're thinking about committing to a flex nib or want to learn how to have that flexy type of lettering, I think this is a great pen because it has that familiar fountain pen shape and it posts and all of that. So I think this is a good pen if you want to get into flex writing. But I also love that, you know, you can have your different Yovo nibs and swap out, so you don't necessarily have to commit to flex all the time with this. So yeah, and I mean, again, it posts. So if you love pens that post, this is a great pen as well. So I do have a code over at Endless Pens. You can use Julia to save on this one or anything else over there. I'm super appreciative of them sending me this and letting me take some time with it before sharing it with you. I'm actually really excited to see what the community creates with this new model, because even the Cheshire Cat one was super cool. I'm always excited to see what else is on the horizon. But let me know your thoughts, or if you have any questions about this down below. I hope this was helpful. I feel like I rambled a lot, but I hope it was helpful. I hope it was fun, a good time, all of that. Thanks so much for watching, and I will catch you all in the next one.